mentally untouchable. More words can describe my presence. Like, PG Tips T, Educated, Troll Channel, Vault Rep, I don't know what I'm talking about. I walk a path that's been aligned for me since the beginning of time. It's not a great path, but I'm making what I can with it. Also, combination pizza rolls are literally the worst pizza rolls. There's no argument about it. Pepperoni all day. What am I even talking about? What am I doing at this time? I don't get it. Thank you all for tuning in to the Vault 1K subscriber special. I was meaning to do that for a while. I've just been preoccupied. I hope that was entertaining for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that little parody skit, you know, doing whatever that was. But thank you, honestly, thank you so much for all the support, all the likes, all the shares, all the comments, you know, all of my channel members. Thank you so much for becoming channel members. Thank you for helping the channel grow, you know, just everything you guys have done to help me get to where I am today. It's taken me so long to make this video. I'm almost at 2K, so thank you for that as well. And I know we had that competition where we were doing the Guess My Name competition. So the winner of that competition is Jamari Scholes. He did guess my first name. My first name is Joshua or Josh. Whatever, you know, if you guys want to call me Josh in streams or in comments, whatever, I don't mind it. You know, that, or you call me Volt, whatever works for you guys. I don't mind at all. But congratulations to Jamari Scholes for winning that competition. Huge shout out to all of my moderators as well. They've been extremely supportive, extremely helpful. They helped me with, you know, getting videos for content, getting my stuff out there. So huge shout out to my moderators, especially Brody. He was, you know, a day one. He's been super helpful doing this entire thing. So huge shout out to him. Like I've said in the past, moving forward, I will try to do different content. You'll see a video unrelated to, you know, commentary on Dale Lotig or Dale Wilson, whatever, Modalon Sparrow. I will be doing different content. That doesn't mean it's going to stop, you know, outright. I will make other videos on him as well. I do have a second channel, which is going to become more the primary channel where that's going to take place. So I'll link that in the description so you guys can be aware of what's going on with that and where to see more videos. I'm going to re-upload every video I have on this channel to that channel as well, just in case it gets to a situation where there's so many videos on this channel that aren't related to him, and if you're looking for just that kind of thing, it's just going to be on that channel. That channel will never have anything but that kind of thing. But besides that, we have a Q&A that people wanted me to do. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and answer all the questions about, not about, all the questions that people have put in the comments about that. So let's get started with that. So from Master Bay Shun, he's a channel member as well. Thank you, boss. He asks, will you eventually make a video on the simp rant that he did because of your proof that Lotig is a simp video? So Dale did a huge rant. He was super upset because I called him a simp in that video. And I won't be making a video on that rant specifically, only because I've made so many videos where I've kind of addressed what I need to say about that. So I don't feel like there's any value in me making another video specifically about that rant. So I won't be doing that. Code Virus says, besides the Dale McSeagull X content, got any other things you have an interest in tackling, like drawing, music, or any side hobbies? You're an interesting person. Thank you, boss. I appreciate that compliment. I do stuff like that. I draw, I paint in my personal life. I'm a pianist. I have a guitar that I'm trying to pick back up. I write, I want to be an author. I've written 2 books in a series of 8 books. So once I finish all 8, I'm going to reach out to a publisher or self-publish. I haven't decided where I want to go with that. But in terms of other things I want to tackle, I want to do more reviews on like movies and video games and commentary on things like that. So yeah, that's stuff I want to start to do moving forward because Dale can get really stale. I mean, I'm sure you guys will notice it's the same thing over and over again, and I don't really. It gets so boring sometimes when you're sitting there and you're like, this guy is just the same thing. You know what I mean? So that's essentially how I feel about that. I'm from Jamari Shoals, the winner of the video. If you start posting troll videos, what content are you going to post afterwards? Like I said, mostly reviews, commentary on things like video games, movies, TV shows, comic books, whatever. Commentary. We'll see what comes up. We'll see what sounds interesting to you guys. But yeah, things like that. Low tier cell. Do I like anime? If so, which one's my favorite? I do like anime, but I'm very, very like normie when it comes to anime. So I watch things like One Punch Man and Attack on Titan and Naruto and Dragon Ball. So I don't get deep into it, and I feel like I should, because I've seen some animes that I'm like, that looks badass, like some cool fight scenes. And if you guys want to refer some anime to me, look, if a fight scene is badass and like it constantly has great fight scenes, I'm interested. That's what I look for in anime anyway. So from Vanilla Cream, he said, you mentioned that you have a minor degree in psych a while back in an LTG Sim video. Was there anything that piqued your interest about psychology at the time? With psychology, I wanted to understand how human beings worked. And the great thing about psychology, is you get less frustrated with people, and you have a better understanding, and you're able to interact with people better when you understand why they do what they do and what informs people's decisions. And that's what psychology does for people. So that's what got me into it. I wanted to understand people. Growing up, I feel like I had a lot of trouble with that, and when I was especially very young, I didn't fit in. I got better about that as I got older. When I was super young, I didn't fit in, and I wanted to get like understanding, I guess, about myself and then about other people. So that's what made me pursue psychology. Lord Zen asks, I know this is an old video, but I thought my question would be more appropriate on this. Do I play any other games other than Among Us? I play a lot of games. I'm a prolific gamer, typically mostly role-playing games, but if there's a new game that's coming out, I most likely have it pre-ordered. Even if I wasn't interested in it to begin with. So I play a lot of video games, and just to make it make sense, I'm going to post a picture of my video game drawers so that you guys can see all the games that I own, and then if you want me to stream any of those, you let me know. So it's Motorhead 1994 asks, what inspired you to start a troll channel? Love your videos, mate. Thank you for the support. What inspired me was the fact that when I became more aware of Dale and I started trying to like watch his stuff, I realized like this is not a good person, right? This is a person who does a lot of fucked up things. And I saw all the other troll channels, the clip channels, and I thought they were great, and I thought they were funny because they took shitty content like his streams and made it interesting by cutting it in a certain way and cutting out all the dead air and cutting out all the boring stuff, and doing funny edits and things like that. But then I also thought, someone has to say something about some of his behavior, because I feel like just showing it isn't enough sometimes, because you need to understand what's wrong there and why it's not right. And I thought someone would come around and eventually do it. And then I realized, okay, if my issue is with the fact that no one's talking about this, then I should talk about it. So I posted a video about his 10K sub video because I wanted to, dip my feet in and be like, this was stupid. And then people like that, and I wanted to go into other things, and then, we are where we are today. From T Sizzles 1482, when and how did you find out about OTG, and what is your honest opinion on him? So I found out about him. There's a video by Crobecat called The Fighting Game Community. That's when I first found out about him. It was about his beef with Viscount. Not about his beef with Viscount, but like his beef with Viscount was in there. And then like over the years, I started to see clips of him pop up here and there, and my recommended, things like that. So I started to watch and tune in, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, this person's a piece of trash. This person has deluded themselves to think that they are, above it all and the end all be all when they like suck. And my honest opinion about him is Dale has the ability to be extremely successful if he changed, but the issue is he has no desire to change. He doesn't want to become better. He doesn't want to be a better human being. He doesn't want to be a better person. He doesn't want to interact with his chat in a more honest and positive way. He wants to lie and have these delusions of grandeur and all this nonsense. If he was honest with himself and he buckled down and actually tried to be better at his craft, he'd be able to make something of himself. It's embarrassing to be on YouTube for 14 years with multiple people talking about you and only have 60k subscribers. Like, that's an embarrassment. That means you're not doing anything right. He doesn't have a YouTube play button plaque, not 100k in 14 years. That's a problem when you've been like the topic of so many controversies that no one wants to like, negative opinion. Infamy can only get you so far, and that's the issue with Dale. Even people that people hate, like Lily Singh and Jake Paul and Logan Paul, it wasn't all infamy to begin with. You know what I mean? There was some positivity in the beginning, and then it turned to infamy. So you can only get so far with infamy. So the next question comes from Lionel M. How did you come up with your name? So the channel name was originally going to be Low Tier Didact, because I wanted to break down his, the information about Dale and all that. But when I started making the first video, I used the Vault Boy as the avatar, and then I thought about it and I was like, okay, if I'm using the Vault Boy as an avatar, why not be something to do with Vault Boy? So I just went with Low Tier Vault Rep. So I mean, that's the long and short of it. That's exactly where the name came from. From Roy Salmon, favorite Fallout game and why? Opinions on Fallout 76. My favorite Fallout game is Fallout 4. I know people don't really fancy that game as much as the others, but I really like that there's a fully voiced protagonist. I like the companions and how you can have in-depth relationships with them, and they have their own personal quests and they interact with the world around you. I think that's really well done. I even find myself replaying missions with other companions to see how they react to specific things going on in the mission. Their relationship lines and all that. I think that's really good. I think the opportunity to play in multiple different factions was also fun, pursuing different storylines, seeing what's going on with that. I think overall it's a very solid game. Fallout 76, I feel like it was a game that had an idea for what it wanted to do, and it wasn't a bad idea, but the delivery was just garbage and there was no passion put into the project, and it felt like a cash grab. So I feel like if there was passion and if there was a real desire to make a good game, Fallout 76 would have turned out good, but I don't think there was any passion in it. From Plus Ultra, have you ever thought of reporting on events and other people that may have interested you? You've got an ASMR voice, not gonna lie. I haven't thought about doing any videos on other people per se, or events, like he was talking about world events and things like that. No, because I want to talk, when I want to, break things down and talk about things, I want to talk about things that I find interesting, or I feel like I can provide input that would be interesting. And world events and things like that. I'm fun with like conversation with that kind of stuff. So if you guys come to a stream and bring something up, I'm more than happy to talk about that like on a stream, but I don't think there's much value in me making videos on that kind of thing. And ASMR, I almost made an ASMR channel, like a year or so back, but then I was like, it's not really my thing. From Resonate, what's your favorite LTG moment, or when did I decide to become a troll? So I answered the second part of that question already, but my favorite moment was when he when he was failing to rage quit that one time, and he like grunted like a fucking child. It was so hilarious to me. Like, I'll play a clip of it, but just like you can feel his body language and the anger and how pathetic it was. It was just so funny to me. But that was my favorite moment.
Oh my god! Move it!
From Free Walk, I heard DBS is contagious. How to prevent or treat it? Yickety didn't do anything but top my mom's and ate up my aunt like Kirby. Free Fork. I'm sorry to hear about that. But BBS, dumb bitch syndrome, is contagious. Absolutely. If you interact with someone who has dumb bitch syndrome, you are more than likely to catch it. You can't prevent it, and there are no known treatments of it at this time. I'm sorry. From Mickey Mario, do you have a favorite genre of video games such as FPS, 2D fighters, racing, etc.? If so, what are they? Also, like your videos, man. Keep it up. I appreciate that, Mickey Mario. Yes, my favorite genre is role-playing games, action-adventure games, things like that. So your Far Cry's, your Witchers, your Skyrims, your Dragon Ages, your Assassin's Creeds, Fables, things like that. That's my favorite genre of game. From Hoops Gaming, what is your end goal for this channel? In other words, what is its main purpose? Love your videos. Like I said, I want to branch away from Dale. But the purpose was to try to educate people on his misdeeds and what he was doing that I believe was wrong, and that I also believe it shouldn't have been done. Things like that. So that was essentially the reason why I was making the channel and I was doing what I was doing. But now, like I said, my end goal is to move away from that kind of stuff and just, maybe do YouTube, on the side more often, and make something fun of the channel. But we'll see. Like I said, who knows? Maybe the channel will completely crash and burn if I stop doing those kind of breakdowns. Who knows, honestly? But, we'll see. From Ani, what kind of music do you listen to, genre, artists, etc.? So I listen to kind of like alternative slow jams, things like that. Even like upbeat alternative as well. A lot of like the stuff that like you would find in like a sleepy playlist, things like that. I like Nova Moore, Keaton Henson, Tom Odell, but I listen to everything. Honestly, I listen to hardcore gangster rap, rock and roll. I don't really listen to country music. But yeah, it fluctuates. I listen to, all kinds of things. But typically that kind of slow jam stuff, that's really what I'm interested in. Instrumental music as well. I love, this is not a joke. I listen to the Battlefield 1 album all the time. Jillian Storm, what do you like about Fallout and Vault Boy? I think Vault Boy is just a fun little avatar. I enjoy that. But Fallout, I think it's such an interesting concept. A post-apocalyptic future that's stuck in the past. It's like a weird blend of time, you know what I mean? How they have all these futuristic things and weapons and like handheld nuclear warheads, and these automatrons and things like that. But then they also have these super old cars and they dress like, in the 1900s and things like that. So I think it's such an amazing blend and it's such a fun concept because, in actuality, Fallout can last forever because they can just make a game somewhere else. And there's so many beautiful and fun locations. Like imagine Fallout in London or Fallout in Paris or Fallout in Brazil or, there's so many states in the United States that they haven't done yet. So I think it's such a cool concept because there's so much to do there. And that's what I fancy about it. From X the Chronicles of, can you teach us the way of a true scholar? Just watch the videos. That's how you learn the way of a true scholar. From Day Duality, will you ever branch out and do videos on Wings of Redemption or DSP? No. I mean, just a hard no. I have no interest in doing videos on them. It's just no. It's just no. I mean, there's no way for me to really explain it. They're just pathetic in a different way, and it's not what I can really comment on, There's just a no on that. From Asuras Rav, how's your track record about women, and what do you think about Dale the Chicken Legs Wilson's thought stories? I've had the track record of about any other healthy individual. I haven't been I'm not out here 100 plus. You know what I mean? And I've pursued healthy relationships. I've pursued, just hanging out. I've pursued friends with benefits, all that kind of stuff. I've been a simp when I was a teenager. So I've seen multiple sides of it. I've been, on multiple ends of the spectrum. His thought stories, a lot of them seem fallacious. I don't believe a lot of them because they contradict themselves a lot. He'd be like, oh yeah, 5 years ago, man, I was a simp, man. I was down bad. And then in the same breath, he'd be like, oh yeah, 5 years ago, man, I had all these bitches. It's like, okay, which one is it? Were you a simp or did you have all these bitches? Like, they don't make sense, so I don't believe that they're true. From Pinocha Lopez, what is the worst experience you ever had? That's a loaded question. Worst experience I've ever had. I went to I went to Brooklyn, New York at this place, and I got a panini that was horrendous. Like, it was so aggravating because I saw it on Instagram. And I went to Brooklyn, New York just for this panini. And I ate it, and it tasted like nothing. I'm like, there's no seasoning, there's no flavor, there's nothing. I was so frustrated. I wrote a review, and I don't do this. I wrote a review, then I went back to the Instagram post, and I commented a bunch of times about how garbage it was. Like, I was so upset. So I think, that's one of the worst experiences I've ever had. Where am I from? I was born in Liverpool, but I was raised in Kensington. So I'm from England, if that's the short answer. From Leela Edwards, do I have a favorite genre of game? Role-playing game. From Yorit Sal, when did I start to know LTG? Like I said, from that Cropcat video, I'll link it in the description. From Duncan Callaghan, do you ever think about posting other kinds of content? You've received this question a couple of times, but yes, I do. And that is it. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the 1K subscriber special video. It went a lot longer than I expected it to. Thank you for all your support again. I was going to end the video doing impressions. Doing impressions of people people said I sounded like. So I was going to do Thatcher and Captain Price and who else? Other people say I sound like. But I decided against it. Maybe next time. But again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all your support. Behave yourselves. Last but not least, I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my Vault Dweller channel members. Thank you so much for all of your support. It means the world to me. Shout out to Lord Azen, Chris Jericho, Juice Lee, Shiolia Leo, Miles Peaceman, Reaper Rose, Trevor Belmont, Adrian Maciel, Kenneth Douglas, Dogs of Rain, Spike Glaze, Nastasia, Murder Wolf 23, Dale Chronicles, Blurp, Benny Hill Jr., Master Bay Shun, Yorit Sal. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your support.